What's up, my people? Good evening. Welcome to all. Once again, peace to everybody out there on this Wednesday night or Wednesday afternoon, depends on what time it is where you at. Peace to everybody out there moving. I hope everybody that's moving and traveling has are getting to where they gotta go safe. You're dressed warm out there and you're safe on this Wednesday. Shouts to everybody out there. After school programs, wherever you at, people shopping for the holidays. I know everybody's doing they might be doing their last little minute shoppings or whatever it is that you're doing. We still got time to get some of our holiday stuff. Depends on what you're getting, where you at. Be safe out there. I am back. Of course, for that boxing talk again. We back at it. What's up with y'all? Shout outs to everybody out there, man. All my peoples, all over. Shout outs to you. Give me a second, y'all. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Had to fix something. But anyway, we back. If you're just coming in and you haven't subscribed to the channel, like, share, and subscribe. Pass the word around. You know what I mean? That over here we keep it boxing. Uh, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Rest in peace to Judge Mills Lane. I'm fair, but no, excuse me, that wasn't Judge Mills Lane. Excuse me, that was Joe Cortez. Apologize, y'all. Shout out to my man Joe Cortez, one of my favorite referees. I'm fair, but I'm firm. That's how we all over here. We back with this boxing talk. We're back with a conversation that I had mentioned to y'all just last week that I didn't hear from nowhere else. I had brought it up myself, and now it's actually out there now in the super middleweight division. I asked y'all, what would y'all think? Or even D Free was up here. What would y'all think about Sheeraz versus Pacheco? That was something before it was even put out that I had been thinking about. I didn't hear it from nobody else. So it's funny how that's talks now about that. So that's what we're gonna talk about. Could that be a super middleweight showdown for 2026? I could see it maybe late 2026. Pacheco versus Sheeraz. So let's get into that. All right. So like I said, once again, welcome everybody to the No Duck Zone podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Check in. We got merch going. We got a lot of stuff going right now. People are starting to ask about the merch. It's here. So anything that anybody needs or wants, holla at me. All right. Hold on. Let me check something. Something ain't right here. Hold on. Let me check something. Y'all give me a second, y'all. I'm still vibing with y'all, but just checking something out right now. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second, y'all. Oh, that's probably why ain't nobody on now, because they watching that bullshit. Ah, it is what it is. Okay, that's the goal. All right. So anyway, welcome y'all. We see what's popping already in the super middleweight division, as I brought to y'all attention last week when we just seen Diego Pacheco fight who he fought. We haven't seen Sheeraz since July 11th, which was against Edgar Berlanga. I know a lot of people are trying to compare the performance and say that Pacheco performance was less. Um, well, put it like this: Shiraz's performance was much better than what we saw with Pacheco. You know, a lot of y'all are trying to compare that. Two different opponents. Um, that guy that Pacheco had. I don't know. I wasn't really too pleased with him. Tough character though. Um, fights a little. I don't want to say fights a little dirty, but it was very hard to sit and watch him, and I got a little bored with it at first. Um, but also you have to prepare for different styles. Um, I don't want to knock the guy and what he did, but this is not about him. Um, that kind of fight might be too early. Some of y'all will say, but I would like to see Pacheco have one more fight um, before he sees Sheeraz. I would like Sheeraz to have one more fight before he sees Pacheco. I don't know how they're going to do it. Um, or they're gonna just throw both of them right in Riyadh season. I believe I said I want to see it on Riyadh season too. So it's crazy how they're thinking about actually entertaining that. Um, Now I don't know where these two are ranked. I really don't have time to go look at any of that. Um, that's a lot. Usually, I would go do that ahead of time to see where they're ranked at. But at this point, it wouldn't matter to me where they're ranked at. That's not my whole point of even doing this. But if somebody can look it up and tell me where they ranked at, that would be cool. Then we can pretty much go, oh my God, they get anybody to interview these fighters now. It's a damn shame. Anybody can interview these fighters. Anybody. People that don't even be involved in boxing. Jesus Christ, it's a damn shame. Sorry, y'all. I'm reading something about this guy that it's this comedian dude that be on Instagram and YouTube, and he was interviewing Alicia Baumgartner for the fight coming up. And I don't try to be no hater, but it's just crazy how they could just pull any damn body in the boxing to do these interviews. It's just freaking crazy to me. But anyway, so I'll tell you my thoughts and my feelings on this fight, being that I already had brought it up. So it's not like I'm deriding and talking about this because I heard it. Because if you go back to my video, the day of, not the day of the fight, it might have been a little bit after, maybe before, but you heard me say that I would love to see him and Sheeraz get it on. And I believe my brother D Free said it'd probably be too soon. He would have to take another fight or two, I believe Free said, before making it happen. Um, and yeah, he might have to because Shiraz is definitely different. But I would love to see that happen. If you look at everybody else in the super middleweight division, like I said, you still have to count Caleb Plant, Edgar Berlanga, Jamal Cholo. Uh, what's the other guy? What's the other Mexican guy? Damn it, I forgot his name already. Mugia, Jamie, whatever. Y'all know who I mean. So it's a bus load of them at that division. Maybe Pacheco could get him next. Uh, who Shiraz could get, I don't know. Who's ever out there for him, if they're going to want to take him. So I'm gonna make this short and simple because this is not going to be where I'm going to be on here all day with it. That's D3 or one of them, one of my brothers come up. But yeah, so I'm excited. Hopefully that this could be the fight that we want for 2026. Um, it's one of the ones that makes you fall in love with boxing again. It makes you sit back and think of why you became a boxing fan in the first place when you look at fights like this. And remember, I told you this when we look back at this year, we had a pretty good year. Some of y'all say, "Oh, we had an okay year." No, we had a pretty damn good year in boxing this year. We might have had some things that threw us off and confused us or pissed us off, but overall, we had a great year. So when I look at fights like this and I go, this is what we got for next year. So this is what we got for 2026. If it happens, um, I say let's go. You know, I always say that boxing is a sport where you gotta stay busy. So Sheeraz was able to chill for the rest of this year, and probably could have came back this year if he wanted to, but there was nothing on the table for him. No big fights. Edgar Berlanga rematch for what? That probably wouldn't make sense, or maybe it would. The question is, right? Does Edgar Berlanga want to revenge his loss? A lot of y'all are gonna say we don't want to see that, but remember I told you it's not about what you want to see, but you can't control what you watch. You can't control what you watch. Just because you don't want to see something, that don't mean a fight won't be made. Does Edgar want that? A lot of people said no. Why give him that? So should he just jump into this Pacheco, Sheeraz? Maybe that should just go ahead and be next. Maybe Pacheco takes another fight before that, and maybe Pacheco. I mean, maybe Sheeraz goes and finds somebody that can, that can keep him busy while he waits and see what happens. But seeing this with these two, this will be a good one. The problem is, I believe Sheeraz is more seasoned, um, and that could possibly be a bad look, maybe a bad style matchup for Pacheco. Watching the fight that he just had, not so much just judging off that, but just looking at some of the things that was going on in that, and I'm like, and that's against a guy 5'8". What do you do with a guy who's just an inch taller than you, or actually an inch shorter than you? Because Shiraz is 6'3", Pacheco 6'4". I think it's great. It'll be a big fight for Riyadh season. Um, and next year, I think they should go ahead and make it happen. I got no complaints. I'm gonna tell you once, I'm gonna tell you twice, I'm gonna tell you 1,000 times. Those complaints when it's the best going up against the best. And as long as it continues to be like that, where the best guys want to fight who they feel like they better than, I got no problem with it. You know what I mean? You heard me and my brother D Free speak about it. We don't expect nothing at all, but to just see the best fights. So a lot of times where these guys are ranked or what titles they holding, I know I don't want to sound crazy and say a lot of times that shit doesn't matter. Make the fight if the fight is possible to make. That's how we feel. That's how we would continue to feel. If the fight doesn't make sense and the fighter can't get nothing out of it, no, I'm not saying you should still make it anyway. Absolutely not. If it don't make sense, who the hell is gonna watch it? Not so much who's going to watch it. What fighter, when they're getting these contracts, are not going to sign up for something that they can't benefit from? Remember, money. Sometimes money is always the issue of why some of these fights don't happen. So with that being said, when I think of this, now this is the question, because you know a lot of y'all gonna go, well, is this something that does this become something that I want to pay for? Is this free? Because you know at one time we were supposed to be getting stuff at for free. Um, Either way you look at it, this is probably not going to be a fight I can get to, so it wouldn't even matter. Hopefully, if when they get ready to do a press conference for this, if you know when if they can get this going, the press conference would be nice. Does this fight happen in Saudi, or does it happen here in America? I would love it to be on U.S. soil, but if it just so happened not to be, I'm cool with staying home and watching it from Saudi. I'm not gonna say because it's somewhere else. I'm not gonna watch it. Um, I won't go as far as to saying that. Um, because this is big for the super middleweight division. Because right now it seems like a lot of other guys in super middleweight is quiet. I thought that these guys would be eager to fight each other once David Benavidez left. I thought they would have some like, hey man, let's go, let's get it in. And it doesn't seem to be that way. I still feel like there's a lot of guys who are just not trying to see each other. Like but like I said, boxing is where it's up and downs. You got guys who feel like they're gonna come back and fight on their own terms. You got guys that if they don't get a certain amount of money, they're not coming back. Uh, and a lot of them, like I said earlier, are gonna do their best to protect their own or not add no more losses to their record. That's just how it is. And you heard my brother D Free say that there was a lot of fights that was never made. That and he was responding to people getting on Crawford about certain things he didn't do, and I'm like, nobody gives a shit about none of that. He did what he did. He's retired. Congratulations. Thank you, Crawford. I don't need to make a 2-3 hour live thanking him. Hey, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your family. So now we move on. And this right here is one of the fights where I say if you're not a boxing fan, you're most likely to become one if you are not already. I'm not expecting that if you weren't already to, because like I said, you guys don't really care about boxing. You just have a particular fighter you like, and that's cool. But when I look at these two guys and I go, being that I talked about it already, I look at these two guys and I think about it and I go, this is one hell of a match. But we all gonna have to see probably Pacheco, like I said, get it in. Maybe one or two more opponents. Or they can make this next. We'll be quick to say who's not ready, but this is boxing, and if people feel like, hey, that's what I want next, and I can beat this guy. Shit, let him go. I mean, if the money's right, go ahead. And 9 times out of 10, the money is always something that play a role when people are just not interested. It's not always I can't beat them. It's the money that will stop that. So, in case people don't know that, there's going to be a lot of times fights don't happen, and that plays a role. But it is what it is. Um, I got the honor of seeing Sheeraz against Belanga. I got to see him up close. Um, thank God, my first time, never heard of him and got to see him for the first time. Hoping that I see him again. But I would love it. I would love for that to be a summertime fight. Um, I would love to see Diego Pacheco versus Sheeraz in New York, Yankee Stadium. I remember talking to my brother X from Four Corners, and he was saying how what would be the reasons why it probably wouldn't happen there again, because something about, I think, Yankee Stadium complained about something. But now it's years later. Miguel Cotto was the last person that did something, and that was 2010. So that was 15, 16 years ago. It has been some time. I think they can do something where they can get it going, or they can come back to where the Mets play, or they can come back to Queens. But I would love to see Riyadh season in Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, and I think they could work something out. I think they could definitely make some arrangements for that. But it don't really matter where the fight take place. I would definitely tune in and watch it. But Yankee Stadium was just one of those places that's in my mind. We can go back to Queens and get it on, and that would be all right for me. But that probably end up in Saudi. Who knows? But this is a great match. These two guys are probably the two biggest guys out there weight as far as height. 6'3", 6'4". I don't think anybody's any taller than that at the super middleweight division. I believe it's just these two. It's great matchup, and one might just be more experienced than the other, or be just as athletic as the other one, and that like I said, is great. I got no different type of thoughts about this, because like I said, when I'm looking at everybody else in the middleweight division and the guys I just named y'all, the question is this, right? When we sit here and we say somebody's not ready and they need two more fights, I mean, when you start looking at these guys that y'all want to see them with before them getting in with this person, ask yourself, what is that person doing that they haven't got off the couch yet? Because any of these guys that's sitting home right now, that's watching all these other guys that's active, that they feel like they might be just as good as, if you feel like you're better than Sheeraz, you feel like you're better than Pacheco, you should be getting your ass up off your seats and saying, whoa, before he fights that guy, he need to see me. Or I need to see him, because I'm trying to get myself back in the positions to be a title holder again. I would like to think that's how it works. That if you're sitting home or if you're sitting in the venue, that you want to throw your name back in the raffle and go, you know what? I need to be in there next. So keep in mind, y'all, if guys are not responding to guys for fights, who's ever placed in front of them, that's what it is. Now, that's different from somebody who got a name of somebody who's active and right there, and then they don't accept it. So it's like, yo, is that a duck? So, and I told y'all this before. So people sometimes gotta take what's in front of them. And I know sometimes it's, oh man, we don't want that. Nah, no, Doug Zone, we don't want that. It's not what we asked for. We're not paying for that. We're not supporting that. We can't get like that for every fight. We can't not support everything just because it's not who we want it to be sometimes. I mean, if we talking about real fights here, because those fights that you're not supporting like that could end up being some great fights. They could really end up being some amazing fights if you just take the time to just support it and watch what happens. They could be amazing. You know, sometimes it's too much criticism that kills the sport, too much favoritism, um, too much protecting your favorite fighter, just too much saying a whole lot of stuff that has nothing to do with why the fight is happening in the first place. So these you know, these are things that I put together and I go, but this is the reason why it is the way it is, why the sport is the way it is sometimes, and we got to be held accountable for that sometimes. We got to be responsible for that. Or I ain't got to be responsible. I don't work for the fighters. I ain't got to be, well, shit. Y'all act like y'all do. If you telling the fighter what he should take or what he shouldn't take, what he should do or what he shouldn't do, but we got to be held accountable far as when fighters are not doing something right, we got to hold them to it. No matter how much we like them. And even the fighters we dislike, when they do something, we still got to hold them accountable the same way we do with the guys we like. We don't get that now. We just get a lot of people just picking and poking and riding with who they want to. I mean, too much of that. You take a step back and you look at how this year went, how everything went. You look at different weight classes, and I swear next year is going to be super dope. I'm telling you, next year is going to be crazy. There's going to be some disappointments next year, not just in who's ever fighting, but just in boxing period. There's going to be some disappointments and upsets that we're not going to agree with, but that's not going to take away from how great the sport is. But there's going to be so many badass matches next year that we're going to be like, Jesus, where do we start? So when this time come around, I'm telling you, when 2027 get in, we're going to have a lot to talk about that happened in 2026, like we're doing now. Talking about what happened in 2025 going into 2026. Amazing year. But this Sheeraz, Pacheco, I'm not, you know what? Jaime Munguia, freaking Caleb Plant, Edgar Berlanga, Boo Boo Andre, Jamal Charlo. I mean, whoever else is at that class. Guys don't have time to sit around waiting for anybody. Guys just don't. If some of these guys are not, oh, and Trevor, can't forget my man Trevor. Trevor McCall, whatever his name is, Trevor. I got to mention with Trevor. He's a bad boy too. But if none of these guys are calling any of these guys, do you expect Sheeraz and Pacheco just to sit back? Because if they're calling these guys out and these guys don't respond, then who's ever next on the list is who they got to go for. And it's the same thing. Maybe people seeing Sheeraz fight, they got intimidated. I told you, maybe they got stunned by what they saw, because no matter what y'all thought about Edgar Berlanga, tell me one person who did that to Edgar. You would have thought what Sheeraz did, Canelo would have did, and Canelo didn't do it. So it shows you, and that's not no Canelo hate, that's just being real, that it shows you that there's levels to this. There's levels to this. Now, maybe in his younger days, Canelo probably would have got him up out of there. So to see what Sheeraz did, right, if you hate Edgar Berlanga or not, was pretty damn impressive, because nobody had did it. People quickly forgot. And once again, y'all gonna say, yo, man, his opponents but y'all quickly forgot what he was doing in all those fights. It didn't matter if it was tomato cans or not. And you know, working with the promotion companies, that's what they do. They put a whole bunch of tomato cans in front of you and make you seem like this animal, this unstoppable force, and till they start giving you some real sauce. But to see what he did to Edgar Berlanga was impressive. Y'all will sit there and say it wasn't. How was that? Well, who's Edgar Berlanga? Shit, half of y'all didn't know who Sheeraz was. I sure didn't. I had to go back and watch his fights. I had to go back. I didn't know nothing about the brother. But I like him. So you got to keep in mind that certain things you see in boxing happens for reasons. And that's not just a super middleweight. That's in any division. I told you this. Nobody's going to sit around and wait for a fight to fall out the sky. If everybody's running in this direction and people are running in this direction, and you got this guy that goes, "Hey, I'll fight you," and this other guy goes, "Hey, we in the same weight class. We're an inch apart from each other. Hell, let's fight. Nobody else will." Because the crazy thing about it is, if we would be mentioning David Benavidez in this, oh man, it probably would be bad, because who would know if either one of them would have went that direction? Probably. I don't know. But David's not in that direction now. Not, at least not no more. So if these two are the go-to guys at 68, and you're trying to convince me or tell me, McLean, they are not the go-to guys at 68, well, show me them. Where's the go-to guys at? Where they at? They in the gym? They on the road running right now? They at the gym? They spending time with their family? I don't care what they doing. Show me another go-to guy. If there's a guy at home and he's the go-to guy, we need to get his ass up off the couch. If there's a guy in the gym training right now, we need to bring him we need to put a contract in his face. Huh? Because until I see that, these will be the go-to guys. How many times can a fighter keep going out of their way to send a contract or say they did allegedly, and then there's no response? We got these invisible contracts flying around boxing because one team says we sent it, and the other team said we never got no offer. We never got no offer. Josh Sanders, what's up, my brother? We never got no contract. What's this contract? I know y'all hear that a lot. Whenever these promoters get interviewed, whenever these coaches get interviewed, whenever these managers get interviewed. Oh, his team said they sent the contract. But where the hell's the contract? When did he send? Did he send the contract FedEx Express? I mean, maybe it got lost. Because we don't know nothing about being sent no contract. If y'all just take the time to pay attention to what goes on in boxing, some of the slick shit, it's the little shit that y'all missed. It's the little shit that y'all miss sometimes that y'all look over, when y'all look over it, it has y'all arguing in these channels. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Some people say he might not be ready, Josh. I look at it like this. If not now, then when? And who else before him fighting? Because like I said, if you can't get these guys to get off the couch, or you can't get them to get out the gym, if you can't just get them to come to the table and accept a person's name when you put it out there, it's difficult, man. Boxing ain't no sport that you can just take 5 years off and just chill and be like, I'm coming back. There's only a very small portion of people that did that. That's not in everybody's DNA. Everybody ain't gonna do what George Foreman did. Huh? Everybody's not gonna do what Bernard Hopkins did. You gotta be blessed with this you gotta be blessed with this. The water today is different from what it was 30 years ago. Baby, you gotta pull a Crawford. Huh? In the words of Nita Baker, you gotta give them the best that you got, and then you gotta get the hell out of boxing respectfully. Because boxing is technically is a sport where you're given the best that you got. But then also to have that great dance partner, you gotta have somebody come to the dance floor. The picking and choosing, the ducking, the avoiding, the making excuses, and then we get upset when we go, why don't he fight him? Well, why don't you take y'all asses to the gym and ask him why he don't fight him, or go find out where he lives and he's sitting on the couch with his family chilling, spending whatever little bit of money he got left from the three fights ago that he had. Ask him that. These guys got to stay busy. And that's in any weight class. So if Pacheco and Sheeraz are the two men that's standing at 68, I say, God damn it, let him go. Let him go. David Benavidez did y'all a favor by getting the hell out of 68. Y'all lucky he want to go up and not back and not back down. You're lucky. Because if David told you tomorrow when he was coming back to 68, shit, y'all asses will be running to 60. Or you just be trying to avoid him the best way y'all can. But it's the little things like that that y'all got to start paying attention to. Because I'm telling you, when you start paying attention to the little things, oh, I do pay attention. No, you don't. You pay attention to what you want to pay attention to. You pay attention to the things that brings views and clicks. If y'all take the time to pay attention to certain shit, it wouldn't be so much arguing and debating on these channels if you just see how all this shit works. You can't get a fighter to do nothing because it's like, yo. And then we get mad at their choice of opponents. I told y'all this every day. And I'm going to keep telling y'all because some of it is going over your head. These dudes got to stay active. And the dudes that staying active, if they choose to cherry pick, that's on them. They're not fooling nobody. You could try to fool the fans, but the fans ain't fooled. Legacy, these guys don't care about no more. I told y'all this earlier. Belts, none of that shit. They don't care what we think as fans. They don't care what we think. All the pay-per-views, all the events we go to, they don't give a shit about none of that. We gonna fight who we want to fight. We don't give a shit what you fans want to see. It's messed up. That's why I say we have the right to watch whatever it is we want to watch. If a guy that we like is not, if we feel like his opponents is not doable, we don't have to watch it. Y'all do know that, right? The remote control is not glued to our hands. We don't have to sit there and support that. We could easily say as fans, I'm not supporting that bullshit. He can have that. And that's in any weight class. As talented as 140 is, if you're going to look me in the eye and tell me at 40, we got Devin Haney, right, that he's not the boogeyman, but he gives you a hell of a fight, right? Stay with me. And not too many people could do anything with him. But if you take Gary Antoine and put him in, excuse me, he's at 47. I apologize. Excuse me. I just thought about it. Let me take Devin out of that equation. You take Gary Antoine, right? And give me another guy. I know we always mention Lamont Roach. Okay, let's go with him. Or better yet, let's go with Frank Martin. Let's just say if everybody wasn't quick to fight Frank Martin. Let's just say, right? Let's just say, not calling him. But if these two were the only two left that wanted to see each other, will we not make it happen? Well, there's other opponents. I understand there's other opponents, but if nobody, let's just say if nobody was calling for Frank Martin, nobody already don't call for Antoine. Nobody calls for Antoine. When you mention Antoine's name, everybody starts speaking a different language. Pay attention, y'all. Stay with me. I want y'all to stay with me in here. Smash that like button. Let's get these likes up. Stay with me. You can't get a fighter to do something that he don't want to do. And that's not me sounding crazy. That's the truth. Nobody's chasing legacy. They chasing the bag. And if I have to fight a 10 or 15 tomato cans to make a bag or whatever, just to, that's what's going on now. That's what's going on, and it's been going on for a while. It just wasn't as popular as it's been for the last couple years. None of this shit is hard to figure out. I don't understand what's wrong with y'all. As if y'all new to this. This shit been going on, bruh. And it's not finna change because we got an issue with it. It's not gonna change. This is why we always say, tell your favorite fighter to go step to him. Tell your favorite fighter to get off his ass if he's sitting on his couch. If he's running his ass at 3 o'clock in the morning, call himself trying to make a comeback, make sure as he's running, he runs to where that damn contract is at and go sign it. I mean, if I'm saying something wrong, please, somebody who's not on here now, feel free to leave a comment. I don't block opinions. I block disrespect. So feel free to leave a comment. Believe me, I don't bite y'all. I'm not gonna block you because you voicing your opinion. And this is the reason why we can't argue with casuals or just people who just don't know anything, because these are the things that they don't pay attention to. Yo, my man ain't scared, son. My man just chilling right now. Chilling. All right, chilling for what? If your man is sitting home tweeting and talking crazy to a guy that's active and we ain't seen him do anything in a while, you gonna tell me your man got a right to run his mouth? If it's like that, challenge him. Be that guy to get in there and prove that that other guy that nobody's calling out maybe not really the boogeyman. Get in there and do it. Because all this boogeyman talk is cute, right? It exists, it's cute. But at some point, there's a guy out there that go, man, that man ain't no motherfucking boogeyman. Well, ain't nobody, I don't give a damn. I'm calling his name then. How about that? Yeah, even though I'm one person, I'm calling him out now. And I'm going to keep calling him. I'm going to insult him. I'm going to talk about his relatives. I'm going to do whatever. Until we get that, makes it kind of difficult. I'm hoping that 2026 is a year where there's no procrastinating. There's no bullshitting. There's no yeah, I want to fight him today, and then next week is going to be somebody else. Now, I'm not going to lie. I want to thank Turkey Al Sheikh, who made this year a popping year. Rather, if you agree with it or not, we got to see a lot go on. A lot go on. And I'm hoping for the same thing. I'm just praying to God for the same thing in the new year. Sheeraz, Pacheco, and any other good fights that's out there like that that we want to see, no matter what weight class is in. I'm hoping it'll come to wish. I hope it happens. But I got 15 more minutes on here. I'm sorry, y'all. I just got some That's something that I'm reading. Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, man. I'm sorry. I hate when I get this. I get so distracted. Yeah. So that's how. If y'all like to pick my brain and see, let's see how much he knows or how much he thinks he knows. That's how. Just so y'all can get a clear understanding for the ones that don't know, that never really talk boxing about to me. That's how I look at it. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But we all have a right to think how we think. We all can't think alike. We just need, only thing we all need to be doing alike is thinking. That's the only thing that we all need to be doing alike. We all don't need to be thinking alike, but we all need to be thinking. Um, Boxing Wiz, what's up? And with me, that's how I look at it. And I'm not going to change that. If you're telling me Sheeraz and Pacheco could possibly be the two standing, now, if they can possibly get fights before they see each other, cool. But if you're telling me that this is what they want to get straight into next, because nobody has time to be sitting around wanting to fight this guy, and I could have took this guy and fought him, but I supposed to fight this other guy, and then this other guy don't accept, and then it becomes this whole thing where fake ass contracts was being sent and never happened. While we doing all this, I could have just jumped into this fight. Because people tend to play with you and people tend to waste your time. I keep telling you, boxing is not something where you got time to be playing games. It's that simple. In boxing, you got to give them the best that you got and get the hell out of here. So if Sheeraz and Pacheco, let's see. I want to sit back and see how this actually plays out. For a lot of the fights, I want to see how it plays out. After Pitbull Cruz and maybe Lamar, maybe if they get it in a second time, I want to see how that plays out. Who's next? Is Gary Antoine? Huh? Frank Martin? Huh? Come on now. Shakur's up there. T.O.'s up there. Jermaine Ortiz is up there. Huh? Africa? Come on now. Y'all talk about y'all want to see the best. Huh? That's y'all best. That's what y'all want to see. That's what y'all claiming. Y'all throwing up in the air 365 days in a year, and every day y'all screaming at in these YouTube streets. That's the new norm now, to jump on YouTube and say, I just want to see the best. I mean, we all want to see that. But sometimes in boxing, we can't always get the, you might want the big fights, but there's a small price that might come with it, which means sometimes you have to take less to prove that you're the best. Like Devin Haney going to Australia to fight George Cambozo twice. I respect that. Just to prove that you're the best. Hey, I'm better than you, and I'm about to come to your city, your country, your town, whoop your ass. Not once, but twice. Do you know that Devin Haney is the luckiest fighter in the world to even make it into that country and to make it out safe? Do y'all realize what could have happened going into enemy's territory? But y'all don't respect that. Y'all too busy hating that he got a father. Okay, congratulations to y'all for being the haters of the year. Oh, as soon as I said Devin, they got up out of there. Ooh, Lord. Let me not mention his name again. Sorry, y'all. Boxing, please. What we got? What we got? 10 more minutes up here. So I'm excited, y'all. Like I said, hopefully they're discussing it. You know, Turkey Al Sheik, maybe they'll have a meeting. If they're not having none, hopefully, I hope they're on the phone right now. I know Pacheco just fought. I know he just fought, but it ain't like he battered and bruised. It ain't like he got stopped. He just probably got a little swell face where he's able to still hold his baby. He's okay. Nobody has to wipe his ass for him. Nobody has to push him around in a wheelchair. He's good. He's able to get on the phone. I'm sure his hands work. So he could sign the contract or he can answer a phone. Whatever they decide to do, I can't wait. Damn it, I cannot wait. And if it don't happen next, I'm still not upset. Jaime Mugia, if he's out there, Edgar, I don't know. I don't know how much he'll be interested in the Edgar. We don't know. We know Edgar does have plans to return. We've seen him beat Trevor already, so that's not gonna happen. Caleb Plant and Boo Boo, I want them to be the next two to fight. If we don't get a Boo Boo, if we don't get Boo Boo and Jamal Charlo, or if we don't get Jamal Charlo and Caleb Plant, what's next, y'all? This is what I'm trying to get y'all to see. What's next? Because only thing y'all gonna do is scream all day about what the hell you don't want to see. That's what y'all gonna scream all day. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see this. What you want? Y'all don't know what y'all want to see. If there's any more guys at 68 that y'all can give me that I might be missing out, because I only might just be naming the ones that I know and that I'm familiar with. But I'm naming enough to make the conversation make sense. In the words of Goldberg, who's next? My brother CJ Rich Boxing. What's up, my West Coast brother? Everybody go subscribe to CJ Rich Boxing, man. Drop your link, CJ, my West Coast brother. These are things that y'all need to pay attention to, because y'all don't pay attention to it enough. You just watch boxing, you get the results that you want to get, and that's it. Then you're quick to go on the live to go talk about it. But did you really study it? Did you really pay attention to the moves these fighters make? Not just in the ring, but outside the ring. Listen to what they say in these interviews. And then some of the shit starts making sense when you go, all right, he said this, he said that. I see what it's going to be. This is why me and D Free don't get super excited about a lot of things, and we ain't out here doing backflips. We got Shakur and Tank. We got Shakur and we got Tio. Beautiful. Beautiful. Boxing's looking good already for the beginning of the new year. Looking good. You got Matias and Smith. You may not be a fan of neither one of them, or you might just say, hey, Matias should win that easy. We can't say who gonna win what. Doesn't matter to me. We got boxing. Carissa Shields, Franchon Cruz. You might feel like they shouldn't be fighting again, but they are. Whoever earned it should be there. I wanted to see Sadeja Green. Well, Sadeja's not in a position to be in that position. You have to put yourself in that position to be in that position. I ain't got nothing against Sadeja. You know, I'm hoping to see her back in. But this is how it works. So when you guys are out here constantly just overprotecting your favorite fighter or somebody that you like, ask yourself a question, right? I want y'all to ask yourselves a question, please. I want y'all to listen to me real quick. Ask yourself this question. I'm doing all this overprotecting him for what? And he's not even doing anything to even, like, why am I like this? Why am I even like this? Why am I going hard for a fighter who doesn't even give a shit about his own career? Why? Why am I jumping on YouTube channels and Instagram and I'm going hard for a fighter who don't even give a shit? I want some of y'all to ask yourselves that. Steady, always just quick to get on YouTube and all this other shit and beat on your chest like King Kong and act crazy. I'm not insulting anybody. I'm not dissing anybody. I'm telling y'all reality of what's going on. That's the problem. A lot of y'all don't want to face reality. This is what it is. This is what's going on. Ask yourself about that. Not about another fighter. Ask yourself about the fighter you like. I'm doing all this wilding out like I should be working for Nick Cannon on these damn YouTube channels, but why is my fighter not? I'm doing too much, and I'm going hard for him as if I'm part of the team, as if I'm his advisor, as if I'm his manager, his promoter, and he's not even doing it. That's a fact, CJ. Why am I doing all this and he's not even doing it? Oh, he don't have to do it. All he got to do is just do what he do. What the fuck is that supposed to mean, stupid? As if y'all gonna get some brownie points for going hard on these channels for a fighter that you don't know shit about. If he's not fighting for his career to give you the best because you support him, why am I going to be up here arguing with a whole bunch of dudes about a dude that don't give a shit about what he does, or he don't care about how you feel about what he does? Now you tell me when the hell all that makes sense. So that's the reason why sometimes when y'all hear me say the stuff I say, I know y'all be like, he crazy. I'm not crazy. And I'm not talking too fast. You just listening too slow. Because I make it all make sense. Just take the time. I swear if y'all take the time, man. Well, I don't need to take the time. I know what's going on in boxing. You don't know shit, but the fighter's first name, last name, you probably know where he from and what belt he carry, if you know that. Because I don't know every belt that a fighter carry. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta look it up. Because everybody's not a WBC champion. You got the IBF. It's a lot of shit. WBA. Just because you know about the WBC belt, that doesn't mean you know about boxing. I'm just saying. So for this particular fight, Sheeraz, Pacheco, if this is made, I'm going to sit back because before I decide to bring this up again, I'm going to sit back and see how this plays out. I'm going to see how this plays out. I won't bring it back up again until they actually say it's official. If they say it's official, we come back with it. Until then, it's boxing this week. We got action, like I said, Friday night on the Zone. You got some of you guys going to watch the Netflix one. I'm not. So you guys can go have fun with that one over there. I'll be watching the Zone Friday night, and then I'll be watching it again the very next day. I believe it's Salida Promotions. Shout outs to my man Price Taylor. Shout out to my man Michael Coffey. New York is in the building. Heavyweights. Probably Friday. I'll get into that. I'm gonna wait till they have their weigh-in and all that. Well, actually, yeah. Weigh-in to be Friday. The fight is Saturday. Yeah. So I'll come back to talk about that. What else we got going on? Tomorrow, Throwback Thursday. We'll be because I had to bring that back. We'll be talking about my man Ike Corte. Y'all don't know who Ike Corte is. I'm sure some of y'all do. Look him up. But we'll be back to talk about him. There'll be no morning chop-ups tomorrow morning. You know what? There was never really no. I ain't gonna say it was never. I was about to say there was never really no more than chop ups. That'd be a lie. I'll be capping my ass off if I said that. Yeah, I might come back with it early in the morning. It'll be 7:30 to be exact, y'all. So 7:30. And then we'll take it down from 7:30 to 9:30. That's gonna be it. It won't be no past that because I have to bust some moves. But we will be back. We will be back tomorrow to speak about Ike Corte. So I'll put that up tonight so you guys can have it. I appreciate y'all. You know I can't stay long, man. Gotta go, gotta go. Got work to do. But I appreciate y'all for listening to me. Hopefully nobody feels offended. I don't try to offend people, but this is the no duck zone, and I'm not gonna duck no smoke. If something need to be said, it's gonna be said. So hey, I always tell people if this is not the channel for you, I appreciate you coming through, and maybe you'll have to try the channel that's for you. The one thing on here, we ain't looking for clicks, we ain't looking for views, we not looking for none of that shit. If people mess with you, all that's gonna come natural. So once again, man, like, share, subscribe. Love y'all. And make sure to remember to continue to keep protecting your peace, your space, and your surroundings. Catch y'all tomorrow morning, 7:30, morning chop up. See, I know what it is. It's the No Duck Zone podcast. Let's go.